This week we want to talk about feedback, and I'll set the scene, given that I literally received feedback yesterday, and I guess Kev and I will both share stories about how we've received feedback in our lives and the different ways in the past that we've responded to them. I guess would react to them as opposed to respond, and then what we've noticed about the difference between responding and reacting to feedback. So this was not a professional piece of feedback I was given. It was actually given in like a sport team. And at the end of the game, the captain of our team said to me, he hadn't seen my performance the week before, and basically said to me, "You need to be demoted. You're not doing this and that, and we need to, put you into a different role." And given the fact that he hadn't even seen what I'd done the week before, and it was quite an offhand comment, the old me, I know, would have gone straight into my head. So my way traditionally of responding to stuff like that would be in the moment to ask questions and probably not say a lot, and then later be in my head saying how much bad person they were and where they can go and stick it, basically. So I was really conscious yesterday of a different response than I had in the moment, and I think that it's probably to do with the amount of work I've done on myself, which is that instead of being in my head when he was talking to me, I was very in my heart and very calm, and I was happy with what he was saying. And actually, I didn't care that much. I was like, "Yeah, that's fine, mate." I could have pointed out that he didn't even see what I've done, and I did. I think he pointed it out, and the conversation just flowed. And then it was more of a response in the sense that I felt like I was responding from my heart and all of me, rather than just reacting from a spiteful place or from that mind churning activity that I would have, in the old way I used to do it. So I don't know if you've got an experience.
Yeah. So when we were talking before, I was thinking back to a work experience years and years and years ago, where I was part of a new partnership in part. And our first meeting, I was told in front of everybody that I didn't work hard enough. And I can still remember how I reacted to that. And I reacted rather than responded.
Mm-hmm.
I just, my whole body, I could feel it right through my body, coursing through my body. I had to get up. I had to leave the room. I spoke to my wife at the time. And then thinking about it where I am now, similar to you, having done a lot of work on ourselves, it's that wouldn't happen now. It would be a response, Okay, well, let's talk about why you think that way. Not go into that defensive mode, and and take it into your heart, and not overanalyze or go down, I'm not good enough, or any of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, and things have come up along the way in recent times, as they do. Yeah, that's right. And as I was saying before when we were just talking about the subject, over the last couple of years, I've been saying that I don't really care anymore, but I know now that that's not what I mean. I care deeply. What I don't do is I don't react to things, and I'm more open to it not being about just me. There's other pieces in whatever challenge or problem that's been brought up, or even feedback. And I think that's a good, and even probably not just today, but highlighting it today, that I do care. And
what do you care about?
I care about people, and I care about people even more over the last 2 years than I ever have. And I'm grateful to be, to have the connections and the network that I have. So it's not about not caring. It's about caring more, but from a different space, from a different place, and not reacting to things, taking things on board, and understanding that people are giving feedback, generally they may not even be doing it constructively, but it's from the heart. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and I was saying before, I was catching up with someone else that we walk with on Friday, and he does a lot of video and editing, and I was asking him, what did he think about ours? And he said, he gave me some really good feedback, and then he said, and one thing I've noticed is that, Andrew, you cut me off when I'm talking, and I started laughing.
I don't cut you off.
Yes,
no.
I did. And I started laughing because I do that as well, and I think it might just be the way that we talk anyway, and it may be more general than that. But I know for me, I struggle to hold on to a thought if I can't raise it straight away. So I just started laughing with him, and I said, "That's really, thank you for the feedback." I'll talk to Andrew about it, and we'll do whatever we want to do with it. But the part that I really laughed about was that, yes, that's what I do, but it's okay for me, and it seems to be okay for you, and I don't even notice it if you do it to me.
Well, I think it comes down to the relationship and the people you're with. Like, there aren't any rules, like, because you and I both don't care about that.
Yeah.
Whereas if we were with other people, who were sensitive to that, we would, that would be, we'd have to process that in a different way, because their feedback would be much more, well, the impact of that on me is that you don't care about me, or I feel like that you don't care about what I'm listening to. Whereas that doesn't happen.
No, because we know we're present. We just are present. We're not even knowing it. We're present, and we have the respect and the trust that what we're doing is not being disrespectful or cutting someone off because we want to be heard.
Yes.
It's just about sharing those thoughts and kicking it around.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So that's a shout out to you, John.
Yeah, thanks, John. But it was actually good feedback.
Yeah,
I am more aware of it.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's really cool. Yeah, I would love more of that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So I think to add in there, and I'm cutting you off a little bit, but so if I think about the process for the people there, and if I think about doing it in a lessons from the heart way, it's enabling both your mind and your heart to be in the space of feedback. And when you get delivered messages from people that could potentially be a personal attack, they're either giving you feedback about something you've said, a behavior, one of your qualities, like you talked about. And the difference is that you are present in your heart in that moment, and you're listening and you're engaging in the conversation, and the energy doesn't go up into your mind and distance yourself from that message. You've got an opportunity in that moment to ask questions and engage and learn, and that's best done when you're not got that reactive energy, which is about pushing back and pushing away.
Because it also it can actually show in a physical sense. A lot of people get red in the face, that your voice goes up, you get louder, and it's very reactive. And to be able to sit with it and not do that and take the moment. The one thing, because I do feedback as part of my leadership, but one of the things that we talk about is giving the person that we're giving feedback to the time to respond. So not right, because if you're criticizing someone, that's different to feedback. So there's all intent, there's all sorts of things.
I think that's the work ones that we do, which are around the formal feedback process, often are very different to the accidental feedback that you get in daily life all the time.
Oh, absolutely, because
you're not ready. You're not ready for that, and most of the time.
And the people may not understand that you need time to respond.
Or they're not professional feedback givers. So they just are like, you did this or you did that. And I think that's more the one that we're talking about, which is just holding yourself in a centered place, because you've been going around being angry at everyone otherwise.
Yeah, when you say that, what comes up for me is that these days, I don't even have to think about holding myself in that space. It's a natural way of living or being. Really, it's
great.
It's a great feeling because you're not in that. Your physiology, your physical.
It's your being. It is your being.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
like you said.
And you're not causing anything to happen to your body or your
by reacting.
Yeah. It's and it's a lot less stressful for a start.
I surprised myself with my own reaction yesterday. I know in my mind knows and my heart knows that I would have just been a seething ball of mental reactivity even 5 years ago. And I think I really surprised myself by how calm and centered I was. And and that's a good feeling. And it's also something that I don't take for granted, because it is very intentional about how I want to live my life. There's a lot of things that happen in one's life that you can be angry and scornful and annoyed and push back about. And I think the more we can find places to respond to those moments with equanimity and with calmness and with understanding, but also protecting our own boundaries, I think ultimately makes it a better world. It makes it a better inner world, but it also, I think, makes it a better outer world.
Yeah. And, just reflecting on what I said before about, it's been a way that I am being rather than, consciously thinking about it. It still happens. Time you get caught out at times. You may not be in the best space with something that's going on in your life. And then I would still react, but I would catch in those instances, I'd catch myself really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're reacting here. Take a step back, take a breath, whatever you need to do. And so talking myself through that process to get back to the responding situation rather than the reacting situation.
Yeah. We'd love your feedback on this, whether feedback, funny word to use, but we would love your comments, response, likes, subscriptions, whatever it is. And if this touches you, you may have received similar feedback in your life and you're looking at the way you respond to things, or something may have happened to you recently just in living your life that you'd love to share, and we would love to hear from you. See you next week.
Bye for now.
Bye.